All right, fig lovers, this is Ross the Fig Boss. In today's video, we are talking about building a fig collection. We're also talking about maintaining a fig collection and really what it is that I'm doing here in the Philadelphia area with so many fig trees. I also, by the way, want to make a quick announcement that I have a lot of fig trees for sale. Actually, if you're interested, you want to buy some of these trees, we even have them in larger pots, 3 or 5 gallon sizes. They're listed for right now on my blog, figboss.com. Go there, check it out, because the reason why I have so many for sale is because I just have so many fig trees. So this kind of leads me into today's topic, is that, you know, originally when I first started growing figs, I wanted to have high quality fruit. And that's kind of what I got here in this bowl. We've got some Ronde Bordeaux, Moro de Caneva figs, also been harvesting green Michurinska. And that was really the goal, is just to get high quality fruit. Even this late in the season, tomorrow we're gonna have our first frost, and I'm still getting nice figs. And I'll probably get nice figs even after frost. But, you know, it kind of evolved from there. And I went from just wanting a harvest to wanting more of a harvest. And so then I got more fig trees, because one is just not enough. You know, you just are impatient when you first start growing fruit, because these fruit trees take a number of years to really start bearing larger crops of fruit. So I got more of them, and I just kept going. Eventually realized there's thousands of varieties, and I just went way off the deep overboard into the depths of the ocean. And so now you can see behind me here, these are just trees, by the way, that are in 3 and 5 gallon size pots that I have taken home from the greenhouse. And if you guys remember, this spring I had access to a large commercial greenhouse, and we brought these trees in that greenhouse, gave them an early head start, and then I brought them back home. And those are the trees actually that you see on the patio, is that we have a large number of container figs that we've been trialing. If they fruited and it looked like they were gonna fruit, I brought them back home and they stayed on this patio all year. But I've also in that greenhouse rooted a lot of them. We have new varieties here, and that's what this is. These 2 rows of, this long row of figs here that you see all the way down here are new varieties to me. Varieties that I've spent literally hundreds of dollars on, lots of time and energy. I mean, I could be doing so many other things, but here I am spending a lot of my time growing new varieties. Well, why am I doing this? And the answer is that over the years of growing figs, I've learned that not every fig variety is going to do well in a humid climate. Also, only so many of them will survive my winter. So it's kind of been a mission of mine to find a fig that will do well and fruit well, and also produce high quality fruit in a humid place. And believe it or not, out of the hundreds of varieties I've trialed, 400 to 500 figs now, it's something like that, there's not many of them actually that do well in humid climates, to the point where I have narrowed it down on my website, again, figboss.com. I created a list there where I have about, I don't know, 15 or so varieties that I would put in the higher tier of figs that will perform well and give me this fabulous eating experience that you would hope for and want out of your fig tree. You know, not every fig is going to give you that. You grow figs because you can't get them at the store, or the quality at the store is not good. When you pick them right off the tree at perfect ripeness, you're gonna have that amazing experience. But if you can't get them perfectly ripe on the tree because of your weather conditions, well, you're kind of wasting your time. So it's really all about those genetics. The variety that we choose has genetics that determine its flavor, its eating experience, its texture, its performance, you know, how well it does in humid climates, how well it survives in the wintertime, so many other things. So choosing the right variety is just critical. So I went off the deep end, again, as I said, and just grown so many different varieties to just find the next fig. That's really what all of this is about. I want to find, even if I can just have out of one tree, out of these 50 new trees here that I have, if I can find one variety that I can add to that list of 15 figs, to me, I've succeeded. I'd rather have 5 varieties than one. Even if I had one tree that produced thousands of figs, I would still prefer to have multiple varieties of figs, because I think they're just that different and that special. So if I'm starting off, not everyone has to do what I've done. I don't even recommend it. I don't think, I think there's room. I think the more people who can learn about figs and understand them and really get a hold on evaluating them so that, all right, well, this fig's gonna do well in this climate, it's gonna do well somewhere warm, this fig is gonna do somewhere cold, this fig's gonna do well somewhere humid, you know, et cetera, et cetera. The more people that can do that, the better, of course. I would gladly hope that you guys are on that journey, but not everyone is. The most of you guys watching right now aren't. So my advice is to start off slow. And if you're new, you don't need to spend $200 if you go to my website and you'll see trees there listed for $200. You don't need to get the best and brightest new variety. Get something that's a standard, that's been around for a long time. I got a message the other day, and this is kind of why I'm making this video, is that someone said they're brand new, they don't have a fig tree, and they thought about growing one of my most expensive varieties. You don't have to do that. Just go and get, depending on where you live, let's say you live in a really cold place, well, Hardy Chicago is one of the best choices. You know, you live in a humid place, Celeste is one of the best choices. It's so hard to beat Hardy Chicago, Villette de Bordeaux, Celeste. You know, there's so many of these old standards that you can find that are proven. So many people love them, and you just can't go wrong. You know, if I was in the Pacific Northwest, really hard to beat Desert King. If I was in a really warm and dry climate like Arizona or West Texas, Southern California, grow one of the Golden Alms. Grow one, you know, a type of Black Madeira. It's so hard to beat these figs depending on where you live. I wish I could grow Golden Alms and Black Madeira like you guys can. You know, if I'm in the South, it's so hard to beat Smith. So, you know, that's my advice there, guys. Start off small. You don't have to go crazy right away. Of course, ease into this thing because eventually you can turn into me. I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching right now have wives or spouses, and they're like, Ross, what did you do to my husband? You know, to me, I think that's awesome. Again, I think there's such a huge joy, and I think we should be growing more than just one variety. But you're just starting off, you don't need to go crazy. Once you start getting some figs and you start really understanding what figs are about and you really start to like them, then you can start venturing off into different flavor profiles or different varieties that have you know, some history behind them. Like I always say, everyone's got to try a Golden Alm. Everyone's got to try a Smith. Everyone's got to try a Black Madeira as an example. You know, other flavor profiles. If you have never had a honey fig, it's time to grow a honey fig. You know, if you never had a berry fig, which I got a message actually the other day, the same thing. That person had never tried a berry fig before. So, you know, I just think there's such a amazing diversity within figs that, it's available, but you don't want to just go too crazy too soon. So that's my advice. If you are interested in buying a fig, or if you just want to know what varieties that you should grow, message me. Figure out what varieties are good for your location, because that's going to make the biggest difference in your success. Don't be afraid to contact me with any questions. Thank you guys here for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Again, check out my blog, figboss.com. We'll see you for the next one. Take care.